Hey, this is Rick with Outdoor Emergencies at hikingemergencybeacon.com. And I've had a question, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and somebody was asking about how, you create a course or a route on the Explore.Garmin site on the map page, and they were having trouble with it showing up on their Mini 2. So, I've done this a lot in my past, but I wanted to go back and I tested it here. And I checked it out, how you create a course, how it shows up on your Mini 2, and then another way of going into the Explorer app and doing it that way. So I'm going to run through that real quick, and I'll show you screenshots of everything. But before I do, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. So the first thing I did is I went through and I went out to 11 Mile Reservoir here in Colorado near Lake George. And I've been out there recently fishing, and there's a place that I wanted to go. I have been, but it's an area that I have to hike into a little bit, maybe a half mile. And so I laid a course out, or actually it's a route. I'm not sure how to lay a course out on the Explore.Garmin homepage, but I laid a route out. When you select at the top, there's a flag icon. That'd be for like a waypoint. And then right next to it on the right is something, I don't remember the icon, but I'll have a circle around it on this image, and you click it, and then you can then select points to define your route. So I did that, and I defined the route to the point where I want to fish, and there's a whole area that I want to fish in there. But I did that, and there was a message that comes up, and it says you have to sync it in order for it to show up on your Mini 2. And this is where this person who was having the problem. So I didn't sync it. Here's what I did. Not the way, some people might do it. And there's one way to do it, and I think if you go to Garmin Express, maybe then you could update things there and sync there, but I don't do it that way. Well, I created the course, I saved it, I actually changed the name of the course, because you put the course in first by points, and then you can change the name. And then after that, or even before that, you can change the color, and I changed it from red to cyan. And then what I did is I went to my Explorer app. Now here's where I want to take a little breath and just tell you. You can go to Garmin Express and download and sync that way. That's not how I do it. When you have the Mini 2 and the GPS Map 67i, and I have both of those, they both have access to the Explorer app and the Messenger app. If you want weather and the messaging, then those two devices only at this point will use the Messenger app for messaging. I'm not sure about the SOS, but they'll use it for the messaging and the weather. So if you go to the Explorer app and you type in a message or ask for weather, it's going to automatically send you to the Messenger app. I've done that, and all of a sudden I'm in the Messenger app, and I was like, well, I started it in the Explorer app. I would test it, make sure what I'm saying, or just make sure you know your device and make sure you know your app. So if I had a Mini 2 and a GPS Map 67i, I would absolutely make sure you have the Explorer app downloaded and the Messenger app downloaded also. So once I had that course created in the Explore.Garmin webpage on my computer, then all I did is I went to my Explorer app on my phone. So see, I've got it right here in case you're wondering. I do have a phone. And I went into the Explorer app, and if you can see here, and I'll have screenshots up of this, but right there at the top, there's the Explorer app. So in the Explorer app, you can go to Devices. And under Devices, it says the inReach Mini 2. Right there is where you sync. Now, mine, because I have the Garmin Fenix 7 Sapphire Fenix 7X watch, it was syncing to the watch first, and then I sync to my Mini 2. So when it syncs and it finally syncs, it'll then you can go to the map, and then your course will show up. Now there's two things I want to point out here before I tell you about the other way to do this. It was kind of like it was stuck. It wasn't showing me what I wanted, or it wasn't syncing. And I don't know if this is an issue with the Garmin or with the Messenger app and the Explorer app, But I switched over to the Messenger app real quick, and it had my 67i on there. And I don't know, sometimes I think that kind of confuses things a little bit. So I made the Messenger app forget my GPS map 67i. Then I said pair with another device, and it paired with my Mini 2. So now I checked, and my Explore app is paired with my Mini 2, and it's also paired with the Messenger app. So both the Explore app and the Messenger app are now paired with the Mini 2. Then I went in and I looked, and behold, there's the course. Or in that case, it was the route. There's a difference between course and route. I much prefer to create courses than routes. But that's a story for another day. I've talked about it in another video. But so there it was. It was created. There was my route. I could see exactly where I was, because you can sync your route or courses on your map on the Garmin.Explore page or the Explore.Garmin page. And you can sync one way, I think, which is through the Garmin Express software, or you can sync through the Explore app. That's what I do. Don't overcomplicate this. Just download the Explore app. Sync it that way. That's the first way. It works. Now, you may have some issues, and if you ever have issues, and this is what the person who was asking me the question, they actually ended up contacting Garmin, and they had another question, and Garmin helped them resolve it. So if you ever have any issues, you can ask me, but man, call Garmin. They are very good at responding. They're very helpful. Now, the other way to create a course or a route, and the way I prefer, in my opinion, forget the Explore.Garmin webpage. I mean, yes, it's good because you can change between devices. You can change your subscription. You do have the map page. You can delete old tracks and old activities. So, you know, I don't say ignore it or forget it for a lot of reasons. But if you want to create a course or a route, forget it. Go to the Explore app. It's so much easier. So this second way I did this, I went into the Explore app. I went to a different area around 11 Mile Lake. So it's in between 11 Mile Reservoir and Spinney Reservoir, and that's what they call the Dream Stream. So at the parking lot, I just placed points around the river. You know, I don't know, maybe it was 1/8 of a mile, just to show that I could do it. And I placed these points, and then I saved it, and I think I saved it as 11 Mile Dream Stream, something like that, and you'll see the images on the screen. And I didn't navigate by it, but I saved it with that name, and I got out. Again, here's what happened, what you always need to do. When you create something, make sure you've synced with your Mini 2, or whether it's a 67i, whatever it is, because when I went over to my Mini 2 and I looked at it, it wasn't there. And so I went into the Explorer app, I went to devices, and I synced it. I made sure it was synced. And again, it was syncing with my watch right here first. Now you can skip, it'll say skip, but I let it sync with my watch, and it took maybe a minute to sync with the watch. And then it was done, and I hit sync for the Mini 2, and it took another minute to sync with the Mini 2. And then I went back over and I looked at my map, and there was the second route. It just showed up. You just have to sync. However you do this, you could go on the Explore.Garmin map page and do it that way. You still have to sync, and there's a couple ways to sync. I've already mentioned those. Or you can just take your phone, create the course, it's there, make sure you've synced, make sure the information is up to date, and you'll see it on your Mini 2. Then, as this person was saying, it's really rainy where they're at. Now, they didn't tell me where they're at, but they don't want to bring out their phone and look at their phone because the weather's going to be bad, and when there's a lot of dust and rain and wind and mud, you don't want to pull your phone out if you can all help it, because the Garmin products, and specifically I'm talking about the 67i and the Mini 2, they have a military spec rating for dust, wind, not wind, but it's dust, waterproof, shock and all that. So if you're out and you're in a rugged climate with tough weather, you want to be looking at your device, not your phone. I would have my device in some type of protective covering or case, maybe even just a plain plastic bag, but have that put away and just use your device. So I was able to look at my device, my Mini 2, I clicked on it, and there they were. I had both courses or routes that showed up, and I clicked on them to navigate. I didn't actually navigate, but it showed the course, and it's all there. So that's really the basics of this here is when you create a course, either on the Explore.Garmin webpage or the Explore app, you just make sure it's synced. Just do that first. Now, a few times in the past, things didn't really show up, so I powered off my phone. In this case, I didn't power off my phone. I powered off my Mini 2, turned it back on. That wasn't the problem because it still showed, I created 3 courses. It showed the second course or the first course I created, but as soon as I synced it, I realized that the sync wasn't finished. As soon as I synced it, it showed up. I'm just telling you, it's really simple. And if you're having a problem, you can contact me, but contact Garmin. They'll walk you through it. And the main thing is to make sure you're synced. And if you're having more problems besides that, you can always, reset your device back to the default settings that comes from the factory, or just make sure, or turn it off to reboot it. That's always one thing that fixes what 90–95% of all computer problems or phone problems is to reboot. That takes care of it. So I just wanted to walk you through this because, again, I've had this problem before. This person was having this problem today, and I haven't heard back from them, but I did tell them, I showed them, well, I didn't show them, but I told them how you create courses on the computer or on your Explorer app and make sure it's synced and it shows up. It showed up for me. If you're still having a problem, or if this person is having a problem, then it could be something else. I mean, potentially it's something with the device, whatever. Then you really need to talk to Garmin if it's not showing up, because it shows up really easily when you sync. That's all there is to it. If you've got any comments, advice, thoughts, things that work for you, or you sync a different way, leave a comment below, because I'm always learning. I know quite a bit about these satellite communicators, but I'm telling you what, there's still a lot of things I don't know. It's just so much. Between devices, there's just different things. How your log interval or your send interval, or how you track and how your settings are, they're different between each device. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining me and hanging with me on this video. Again, if you have any comments at all, leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. A lot of times, I really try to get back within hours, 6 hours, maybe 12 hours, unless I'm out on an adventure. Then it could be a little bit longer. Well, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. And if you'd like to support Hiking Emergency Beacon, there's a link in the description below. That's all there is to it today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you back out here in the next video.